So what we're going to do is, next up we are going to attach physics to it. Physics, you know, physics. Okay, let me think. Physics. Alright, so let's start off first. What is physics? When you think about it, when you're playing pool, right? When you let's say you have the stick, and you hit one of the balls, and the ball strikes another ball, you end up transferring momentum, right? That's what we're gonna do. Something similar to that here. Instead of like, you know, pool tables and snooker, we're gonna be talking about attaching objects to parts of the models, so that if they collide in something, they will impart a momentum to the other object. All right. So first of all, we're gonna put a physics around the keyblade handle, and then we're gonna put some physics along the keychains, so that they can dangle when there is gravity, and when something collides with them, they will actually jiggle and move and everything. If the wind blows, they can also rattle. You know, you get the drift. I'm not going to flog a dead horse. I think that's the term. No, it's not. Anyway, physics. Right click. Current location. It's master, which means the master bone is now under the physics. You gotta click physics to see physics. I just forgot to tell you that. So B is for bone, P is for physics. There, now you can see it. But we don't want a circular physics. I want a box physics. So you go to box, B for box. Kinda big. And change it. That's the thickness. So we'll go 0.1. Is that big enough? I don't think so. No. It's not thick enough. You can still see the sides. So I'm gonna go to 0.4. Too big. 0.3, too big. 0.25. Marginally. Let's go 0.2. Nope. 0.18. Alright, 0.18 it is. Right? So that's the thickness. And next we have the height. So you hit 1. Have a look at 1. Too small. Let's make it bigger. Let's make it 1.3. Let me think. Doesn't look nice though. Does not look nice. 1.4. This is the width basically. I mean, the breadth. I don't know. This one here is how thick it is. That's how high. That must be the width. So 1.3. No, 1.0. 0.0. Yes. No. Maybe. No. It's too high. Let's make it lower. No, it's still too high. 1. Let me think. I wish I could cut this part off, but there is no option to do that, so I'm just gonna leave it as is. Yeah, let's leave it as is. Physics 1, main body. Call it main body 1. And after it's done, you can go right click, add at bottom. And this time you want to link it to the first chain, chain 1. And as you can see, you have a huge circle, which you do not want. Change it to physics because you want it to dangle. Go oval. It's not an oval. It's really it's like a it's like a rounded cylinder. But anyway, radius 0.1, normally 0.1. And then this is basically how long you want it to be. So I will usually put 0.5. Uncheck B because you don't want to move bones while moving physics. You just want to move physics by themselves. And you want to center it. Center it. Click up. Click down. It's too big. Let's make it smaller. What you want to try and aim is for the physics to be within the two bones here. So you just want it to be there. So it's too big, so let's make it 0.3. Still too big. 0.1. Yikes, still too big. How about 0.01? Ah, it fits. Alright, let's make it a bit bigger. 0.02. No, 0.05. 0.05 will work well, I think. No, let's make it 0.04. 0.04. Done. Okay, so 0.04 it is. Alright. What you want to do is you want to change the color so that you don't confuse it at the top. So just click on this, rename it as chain 1. You know it's chain 1 because chain 1 is attached to bone chain 1, while main body is attached to bone master. So chain 1 attached to bone chain 1. It's a physics. Alright, and you can change the color by going to group and having it the color. So group 1 is this orangey color. Let's make it 15. Let's make it red. Look at it. There it is. It's this lovely wine red color. Alright, so now we just gotta rinse and repeat for all the other chains, which will take not long because thankfully you can copy and paste physics. So we're gonna copy chain 1's physics. Alright, we're just gonna label it chain 2, attach it to chain 2. It's still a physics, so we don't change anything. And we're going to change the color so that we are going to change the color so we can differentiate it from other physics. So from 15, we can go to color 10. So now it's this nice green color, this grassy green color. And you just got to check to make sure that it's still between the two bones. Alright. So copy, paste, chain 3, attach chain 3, check. Chain 4, and then you want to rename this chain 4. Yep. Chain 5, call it chain 5, check, very good. Chain 6, call it chain 6. Yep. Chain 7, call it chain 7. Have a look. Great. Now chain 8 is the circular chain, so you might have to do some tweaking with that. Chain 8. Chain 8. And lo and behold, we do. It's too big. Move it up to center it between the two bones. And then you want to change the setting. So 0.01, see what happens. So now we've hit a situation. What happens when 0.01 is still too big? You can change the radius, 0.01 as well, and it will be tiny. So you just have to mess around with it till, oops, that's too big. You just have to mess around with it till you get a size that you want. Let's go 0.8. Whoa, I mean 0.08. Very bad. Let's not do that again. 0.7 then. Lovely. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do the charm. The charm, you can't use a rounded cylinder. You have to use a box for it. But you have to use a very, very thin box such that it becomes a sheet. Alright, so what you can do is copy this, attach it to the charm, call it the charm, but then you've got to change it from oval to a box. And you'll see that it's become this really, really long box. Change the thickness to 0.01, so it's really, really flat. And now you just mess around with the height and the width until you get the right settings. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, we are back. So I have basically decided to finish the physics for the charm off screen. So now we have each of the physics that have been attached to a bone, and you just want to make sure that each of the physics are attached to a proper bone. So main body is master, chain 1, chain 1, chain 2, chain 2, chain 3, chain 3, chain 4, chain 4, chain 5, chain 5, chain 6, chain 6, chain 7, chain 7, chain 8, chain 8, charm, charm. Beautiful. So if everything is done correctly, what you want to do now is you want to go to joints. So first of all, we read the bones. Bones are what control what parts of the models that you can move. A physics is basically physics, like what happens when something collides with another thing. That's what physics are for. And now we have joints, and joints are basically what join two physics things together. So basically for something to dangle from chain A to chain B, chain A needs to be connected to chain B, and that's what the joints are for. Alright, so that's what we're going to start doing now, is to make the joints. So what we need to do now is we need to click J and make sure J is selected on, and when J is on, it means that the joints are now visible. Okay, So now let's start making joints. So from here it says joint list. There's nothing here, so we have no joints at the moment. Let's add a joint. Right click, current location, and you want to go main body to chain 1. In other words, the joint connects this to that. But the location of the joint, we want it to be at chain 1 here. Alright? So let's call it chain 1. How much rotation we want it to have? Usually I put 100 to 100. So it's negative 100 to 100. The Y rotation, I usually put negative 10 to 10. And then Z is negative 100 to 100. Actually, negative 10 is a bit too small, so I usually put negative 15 or negative 20. But it's up to you. I mean, in the end, you can always go back and change it afterwards if it doesn't work well. So for now, we'll put it as negative 100 to 100, negative 20 to 20, negative 100 to 100, and we hit copy data. And instantly we will see this box thingy pop up here. This box thingy represents a joint. So a joint has been added that connects this physics to this physics, and the joint is placed here. What we can do is we can copy this and paste it, call it chain 2, and now we connect chain 1 to chain 2, and the location, it will be at chain 2. Copy data, and we now have a second physics here that connects chain 1 to chain 2. So you can see chain 1 to chain 2, and the location is at chain 2. Rinse and repeat, call it chain 3, so now it connects chain 2 to chain 3, and it will be located at chain 3. Copy data. And the best thing about that is that the rotation profile that you've put in earlier is copied along, so you don't have to go in and input it manually. What I used to do is I used to do everything first and then do the rotation thing last. It took me ages because I had to do everything individually. But nowadays I've learned the hard way that just do it once and then just copy and paste it over and over again, and it works pretty well. Chain 4, 3 to chain 4, copy data, rinse and repeat. One more to go. So this one we will call charm, which is the last one. And this one links chain 8 to the charm, and it's located at the charm, not at the end, at the charm, because we want the physics. We want the joint to be there. We don't want the joint to be there, right? Because if we let the joint be there, we can then move this part. So, and the end is a hidden bone anyway. So it's pointless to put a physics there. Okay, so now we gotta do our double checking to make sure everything's right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 charm, main body to chain 1, chain 1 to chain 2, chain 2 to chain 3, chain 3 to chain 4, chain 4 to chain 5, chain 5 to chain 6, 6, 7, 7 to 8, 8 to charm. Beautiful, everything's done. Now before we finalize and save it as a working MMD model, we just gotta do some housekeeping. So we go to groups, right click, hit new, right master. This is so that you can pose the chains later on the you know, on one of the on the graphic user interface on the top left hand corner of MMD. You'll see what I mean later. Alright, hit this, select this in Dropbox, click master, add, new again, chain pose, and then just add the chains up to charm. Done. File, save. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll open it in MMD. Just give me a second. Alright, we are back. I'm sorry about the previous video. For some reason it failed to capture this window off screen. So yeah, I'm gonna redo the part because I think it's important people see how to make physics and stuff like that. Okay, so what I'm going to say now is that from our previous video, we managed to do this part down here. I managed to do it off screen. So basically it's just a flat plane, as you can see. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put links between each of the bones so that it links the physics to one another. We can achieve this by going to the PMD window, going to joint, and you'll see joint list here. At first you'll see that it's empty. What you want to do is right click, add current location, and change the name to chain 1. From chain 1, you want to join it from the main body to chain 1. The location will be at chain 1, and we want to mess around with the rotation information. I usually put -100 to 100, -20 to 20, -100 to 100 again. And then we'll just say copy data. You'll see this box here that appears, and this box indicates that a joint has been added. So a joint that connects basically from this main body to the first chain physics. We want to rinse and repeat. So copy, paste, just copy and paste, Control C, Control V. Chain 2 is between chain 1 and chain 2. And then chain 2. Copy data. And now you see a second joint has appeared. Alright? You just want to copy and you just want to keep doing that until you hit charm. And I have done that already, so I will show you what it will look like afterwards. So as you see here, all the joints have been done. All of them have been named appropriately. Make sure that you double check to make sure that they're connected properly. So chain 1 should be located at chain 1. It should start from the main body to chain 1. Chain 2 should be located at chain 2. It should start from chain 1 and attach to chain 2. Chain 3 at chain 3, attaching from chain 2, chain 3, etc. And when you hit charm, it should go from charm, chain 8 to charm. And after that's done, the physics will have been completed. As a general housekeeping thing, I tend to like to add a master and a pose. You can very easily do this on the GRP tab by right clicking and selecting new. You can rename it and you can add things to it as well. Okay, this was a quick roundup thing. If you have issues, I think the best thing to do is to ask around the MMD rigging community. I'm pretty sure people out there would be more than happy to give you a hand. I hope this has helped you in some way, and good luck modeling. Thank you. Bye. And now I can see the keyblade is complete, and the chain indeed does dangle. I mean, it twitches at times. I don't know why it does that, but you know, like that. See, it's twitching. But if you go left and right, yeah, it seems to work pretty well. If you turn it on its side, and if you remember, we put a physics there on the handle. That's why the chain rests on the handle. If there was no physics there, the chain would pass right through the handle and you just dangle and look pretty awkward. Yep. I'd say it did a pretty good job. Alright, so go reset, and this is what I meant by housekeeping. So we have master and chain pose, so now we can pose the chains if we want to, or move the master joint. Without those, you won't be able to pose the chains. And sometimes you may want to pose the chains if you go to, say, if you turn off the physics. You want to be able to pose the chains like so. That's what I meant. But for this case, we'll just go, we'll just turn the physics on. Okay. Now there's one thing I didn't do, and that is to check the size. I'm not sure how big this keyblade is in comparison with a standard keyblade for MMD. So I mean, it can easily be fixed on PMD or PMX by simply going to the object vertex manager and just go to scaling. There are guides to do that on Google and YouTube. I'm not going to go through that. If people are really struggling, then let me know. I might put up another video for it. But I think at this point, this should be more than enough on how to, you know, make a keyblade on Blender, how to texture it, how to import it into PMD, PMX, and stuff. Alrighty. Alright, thank you very much for staying with me on this journey. And good luck making 3 objects. Bye.